Alright guys, so with this video we have Shane, who is a second degree black belt in the black gi, rolling against Leonard, who is a purple belt in the white gi. So this is just a roll that they did just at an open mat, so it's not a competition. They're just flowing, they're just moving around. I'm going to go over a couple of the things that they did, that they were successful with, and also some of the things that maybe they could have done differently to avoid certain positions. Alright, so jumping straight into it, we have Shane in the black gi with the black belt and Leonard with the white gi and the purple belt. So Shane going into his reverse de la Riva, a little bit more side on, sitting up because there was a bit of space, passing the sleeve grip around. You'll see him to work on grabbing onto the lapel and displacing the base, getting the weight off Leonard's legs, putting the weight on the hand, which allowed him to actually stand up and relieve the pressure from the leg and get that standing sweep. Bit of a de la Riva, and there we go. Gareth jumping in the way, doing a forward roll, and okay, cool. So we're going to jump into a bunch of options of things we can do where Shane was. Okay, so as you can see, where Shane was in a de la Riva, he got the weight off the leg, so it made it a lot easier for him to elevate Leonard's leg. So other options of things that we can do in this position, okay, if I'm able to grab this here, okay, I'll stand up just like Shane did, and then he can work into a single leg. Let alone, if I can pull this here, grab onto the sleeve, then I can control the posture by grabbing the lapel. If I go like this, Nikita more than likely will be stepping, okay? So to avoid that, I'm gonna work on pulling him forward, blocking, and then I can get quite an easy sweep where I can work into what I would like to work into. I'm in a pretty good position either way. Okay, there are some other things that we can do in that position. So as opposed to a de la Riva, okay, where I'm hooking around, I sometimes like to get the instep of my foot here, and then initially I'm here in this position. Okay, so then I can work into grabbing onto here, okay, and eventually this arm will become available where I can do the same thing. The beauty about this one here is I can hold, I can pull, I can kick off the ground if I really want to be quite aggressive with this one, or same thing, block. So as he's going down, I can work on elevating that leg, and then I skip his guard straight away. So when you are doing this one from the de la Riva, or exactly this one that I just did then, he's only really got this one post, which is quite awkward to post. So just drop down a little bit lower. So as we're here, okay, so if I get my foot here, when I'm there like that, I've worked my way to grabbing onto his sleeve, then I can go to the lapel to pull him over. Okay, if he happens to post with this hand, so same thing as what was happening with Shane, is getting the weight on the hands to get the weight off the legs. So as I go like this and I pull him down, he posts, this leg light, I can kick, and then I can work on hip escaping, and then work on taking the back here in this position. So we'll just do that one again. So just maybe cut the angle a little, so go here, get nice and low. So I've worked into this position here, okay, grabbing onto the sleeve, grabbing the lapel, posting out, kicking, then I can work on just doing a seated hip escape, and then work on getting my second hook here. So a couple of different options of things that you can do when you're in those positions. Okay, so going straight back into the roll, so we have Shane on top in the black gi, and Leonard on the bottom in the white gi. So you can see Leonard trying to work on, yeah, very nice there. So he displaced the base from Shane, pushed him in the midsection to make his lead leg quite light so he could scoop up underneath. You can see maybe, there we go. So he hip escaped away a little bit. Looked like he was trying to maybe invert, but hip escaped away so he could work on getting better barriers with his legs to have a bit more of an effective guard. Shane does quite an interesting thing. So Leonard has the lasso with his left leg. He gave up on it because Shane usually drops down. I do the similar thing where you're driving your knee right into your partner's foot, which kind of kills that lasso. Okay, and Leonard on his back in almost like a bit of a de la Riva. He's got good control of the lapel, a bit of a reverse de la Riva in this position. Shane controlling that outside leg so Leonard can't push him away. And you'll notice Leonard is going to avoid the crossface with his hand, and Shane does a really interesting thing where he switches a grip to free up his left hand so he can get that upper body control and then you see him grabbing on with his left hand on the lapel. So he's got somewhere where he can pull himself to that upper body perpendicular position and get that pass. And if you've ever rolled with Shane, you know that he loves knee ride, and you can see, there we go, putting the knee on the belly, and Leonard doing the right thing, hip escaping, moving himself away, but he is still flat on his back. You can see he does a good job of catching guard again, but Shane started doing this new thing where it's pretty uncomfortable. You'll see him do it right here, where although he's not in side control where he can go to knee ride, right there, he drives all the weight down, although he's still technically in guard, which makes it incredibly uncomfortable, and still working those lapel grips. And there, this makes it a little bit easier to work on kicking his foot free and getting that guard pass again. And working around into, so scooping underneath the elbow, which makes it very awkward. You can't roll into turtle position. And if you've ever rolled with Shane, you know that his go-to is going straight into the baseball bat choke, which he has on Leonard there, with the forearm right across the neck, head down nice and low. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to break down a couple of different things we can do in that position right there. Okay, so we're going to work into options of the baseball bat choke. So from here, alright, so we're in knee ride, I'm holding on here. This is going to be a very uncomfortable position where more than likely he's going to want to hip escape, which will allow me to get this grip in here. So 4 fingers inside and your thumb inside. Ideally you want your hands touching. So we're here like this, okay, then I can work on basically doing a side plank, so I can work on, as opposed to using my arm as a tricep extension, I can go over the top like that, and then I can just put all the weight down, okay? So the variation that Shane did, as he was here in this position, he went all the way around to north-south, so I'll just circle this way a little. So basically it turns into a cross lapel choke. So as I'm here, okay, so just push on my knee, okay, you can go over the top of the knee, get your head nice and low, and now my arms are crossing over, and now I can just pull myself straight down into the ground to get the submission there, okay? Let alone if you're able to get this right up underneath, every time your partner hip escapes, it makes it very, very difficult. If you can, sometimes you can grab onto that, okay? If this is too tight, that's fine, you can go back into your normal one. But now, every time he hip escapes, puts a lot of pressure up in his armpit, okay? I can still go over the top, and I can still drop down, and life's pretty good for me, okay? Other options of what to do here, if let's say I couldn't get that one, all right, so I'm in a normal knee ride, okay? So here I happen to get this grip. The only way that I'm ever going to be successful with the baseball bat choke is if I'm crossing my arms. So I can give him that false sense of security where I just go light and I let him come up on top. So now I can swing and drive my elbow up to the ceiling to cross my arms. Obviously I don't want to leave this too long. Another very, very common way of setting this one up, okay, so let's say, so just go on your knees here. All right, so if I'm able to set it up to where he's trying to pass my guard and I happen to get 4 fingers in on this side, the same side as he would be passing, I can get the same choke. So I'm here like this. I give him that opening, so as he goes to pass, I drive that one up to the ceiling. As you can see, this is obviously a little bit risky because if you stuff up which way you're going to go, more than likely they're going to get a pass. So the side that is on the inside, that's the side your partner is passing. But obviously, if I'm not able to cross my arms, you can see how more than likely you're going to be pulling side control. The good thing about this is, just shuffle back a little, if he happens to get to here and he goes to mount, I can still go belly down and squeeze and get it here. So we'll just face this way so we can see. So let's say we're here like this, he goes, sees that tunnel vision, tries to get the pass. If I can get to here, I get the submission, or he goes to sleep. If not, I let go. Obviously, I'm in a terrible position. I stuffed up. More than likely, I'm going to get choked out. Okay, so jumping straight back into the roll, we have about 1:20 left. So Leonard trying to work on his guard passes, Shane posting and trying to relieve the pressure off his legs so he can do a bit of a seated hip escape. Leonard does a good job of avoiding Shane's guard, and as opposed to Turtle, he jumps to the opposite side, and now it's his turn to work on his knee ride. And a bit of a back step over into almost a side mount, but he didn't have the best control in that position. But there we go. Bit of a sweep from Shane. And keep in mind, guys, they're just flowing in this position, so just moving around, trying new things. Leonard's doing a really good job of every time Shane tries to cut an angle like that there, he's always staying square with him, which makes it very hard to work around the guard. And for Shane to get that perpendicular position. And this is the same thing he did a little bit earlier. He goes for the lasso, and then Shane drives the knee right up into the foot, which kind of just makes you abandon that lasso completely. And a bit of a seated hip escape, almost a leg drag, and then that's a buzzer right there. So there we are, that's the end of the roll. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you found this video helpful in some way. If you want to see more breakdown videos like this of matches or just rolling at open mats, let me know in the comments below, and then I can work on putting these videos together, along with anything in the way of Jiu-Jitsu blogs or Jiu-Jitsu techniques or courses. If you do want those things sent out to you, follow the links in the description and I'll get them sent out to you as soon as possible. And until next time,